In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 college football games happening on November 15, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. UCF versus Texas Tech. 6th-ranked Texas Tech keeps its hunt for a college football playoff spot alive this Saturday when it welcomes UCF to Lubbock. Texas Tech enters with a record of 9-1-0 overall and 6-1-0 in conference play. The team comes in after 3 straight wins, including a steady 29-7 result at home against BYU. The mood around campus rose last weekend as the visit from College Game Day brought energy that matched the performance on the field. The defense set the tone, holding a strong BYU offense without a point for 3 full quarters while giving up only 255 total yards. The group looked locked in, and the crowd saw a complete effort from start to finish. UCF arrives as the next test for this defense. The Knights carry a record of 4-5-0 and a conference mark of 1-5-0. They have dropped 4 of their last 5 games. Their latest setback came in a 30-27 loss to Houston, where junior quarterback Taven Jackson finished with 136 passing yards and 1 interception. The UCF defense did what it could and forced 4 turnovers, but the offense did not keep pace. The result reflects a pattern for the Knights in recent weeks, with the defense battling to stay afloat while the offense struggles to finish drives. The larger question now centers on how Texas Tech handles the moment. The team has played with force all season, and observers will watch to see whether it brings the same edge it showed against BYU. Texas Tech has dominated most of its wins with an average margin of 33 points. The balance on both sides of the ball has been notable. The team ranks in the top 5 nationally in scoring offense, scoring defense, and takeaways per game. The only program to hit that level in all 3 areas before was the Florida team that won the title in 2008. This matchup will also serve as the final home game of the season. Many seniors will step onto the field in front of their home crowd for the last time, which often creates a focused and steady mindset. UCF has covered the spread in 4 of 9 games. The Knights have covered only once in 3 road contests, and that lone cover came in a 9-point loss at Cincinnati as a 10-point underdog. They remain winless away from home at 0-3-0. Texas Tech has covered 8 of its 10 games, including 5 of 6 at home. The single miss came in a 48-point win over Kent State, where the line sat at 48.5 points. Texas Tech has averaged 47.8 points per game at home and has shown a pattern of strong offensive outings before the bye week. There is also a small strategic element in play. One might wonder when the staff considers health for the upcoming Big 12 title game push, but the team has a bye ahead, so a full effort appears likely. A win moves them near a secure position in the race. UCF's quarterback situation remains unsettled, and the matchup suggests challenges against a defense that forces short fields and thrives on pressure. As our first pick for this matchup, the Texas Tech Red Raiders to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Texas Tech has scored at a high level in Lubbock. The 29 points posted against BYU last week marked the lowest home total of the season. In the other 5 home games, the offense scored at least 42 points. UCF has gone under the total in 5 of 9 games, though it has gone over in 2 of the last 3. The Knights have allowed at least 27 points in 4 of their last 6 outings, which shows the strain their defense faces. Texas Tech's defense has created a nation-leading 23 takeaways, which often results in short fields and fast scoring chances. These factors shape the environment for the matchup, and they influence the rhythm and pace that both sides may face throughout the game. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total, is our full game total pick. Virginia versus Duke. The Virginia Cavaliers enter this matchup after their lowest offensive output of the season, a 9-point showing against Wake Forest. The Duke Blue Devils also look to reset after a rough road trip that ended with a loss to UConn. Recent results do not inspire much trust in either side, yet the larger pattern shows Virginia leaning on outcomes that broke their way against a lighter schedule than what Duke has faced in 2025. Duke's loss to UConn was not ideal, but their offense ranks inside the top 20 in yards per game and averages more than 35 points each week, which gives them a clear identity. Duke also holds a strong mark in net points per drive, sitting 9th in the nation. Virginia's defense sits far down the board in points allowed per quality drive at 95. Duke tends to finish drives, and Virginia tends to allow long possessions to end in points. Virginia has had moments on offense, but those moments have not formed a steady pattern. They have not shown they can match a fast and efficient Duke unit for 4 quarters. Duke's offense shapes much of this matchup. The Blue Devils can move the ball and score when they avoid turnovers and penalties. Those mistakes have defined their losses. At home, they can settle in, reduce errors, and create steady drives. Their national rank of 9th in points per quality drive supports that idea. Virginia's defense has trouble closing possessions without giving up points, which creates a tough setup for them. On the other side, Virginia's ability to match Duke's pace becomes a concern if Morris sits or plays with limits due to injury. Duke's secondary has given up too many long third-down conversions, yet Kalen has not offered consistent play in Morris's place. His completion percentage sits at 57 across 4 games over Virginia's last 4 outings. Their play has slipped, and their loss to a below-average Wake Forest roster exposed issues. Losing their starting quarterback during that game led to an offense that could not move with any rhythm. Duke has dropped 2 of their last 3 contests, including the UConn matchup, and they have given up at least 27 points in 3 straight. Even so, Virginia lacks a steady passing game, and Duke can crowd the line to limit the run. That approach can force Virginia into a predictable setup that makes sustaining drives difficult. This matchup remains hard to evaluate without clarity on Morris, yet the current picture points in one direction by the end. As our first pick for this matchup, the Duke Blue Devils to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Scoring expectations also hinge on Virginia's health at quarterback. Duke does not need a high total to control the matchup. Virginia does not bring a strong offense without a healthy starter and has scored 22 or fewer points in 3 of 4 recent games. If Morris cannot play or plays at less than full strength, Virginia will turn to its defense to keep the game tight. They allow only 21 points per game and sit at +7 in turnover margin with 16 takeaways. Their pass rush ranks 21st in sacks, which can disrupt Mensah and prevent a comfortable pocket. They also excel on third down, ranking 7th in opponent conversion rate, which helps them shape tempo. The under has hit in 4 of Virginia's last 5 games, and their style supports another low total if the quarterback situation remains the same. The pace, combined with each team's recent patterns, pushes this contest toward a controlled scoring environment by the conclusion. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Tennessee versus New Mexico State. The New Mexico State Aggies travel to Neyland Stadium to face the Tennessee Volunteers in Week 12. The setting hints at a clear talent advantage for the home side, yet recent results show some strain. Tennessee has dropped 2 of its last 3 games and carries a rough 1-5-1 record against the spread over its last 7 outings. The Volunteers field one of the strongest defenses in the nation, ranked 3rd, but their unit still gives up more points than New Mexico State by a margin of 5.9. That gap raises questions about how large a cushion they can create. The matchup points to Tennessee holding the edge in speed and depth. Although the rhythm on both sides of the ball has wavered, the Aggies enter with their own flaws, yet they often stay within reach when they control tempo and avoid early mistakes. As our first pick for this matchup, the New Mexico State Aggies to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The total brings its own set of uncertainties. Tennessee must reset after a home loss to Oklahoma, and the response could swing in either direction. The Volunteers might channel frustration and push the pace, or they could drift through a non-conference game that sits between a letdown and a looming rivalry date with Florida. The stakes for the conference race have faded, which shifts focus and mood. New Mexico State has struggled at times against opponents with less talent than Tennessee, and their offense often hits long stretches without production. The Aggies rely on field position and try to shorten games, and Tennessee's defense usually squeezes opponents who lack explosive threats. All of that shapes expectations for the flow of the game. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Florida versus Ole Miss. Last season, the Ole Miss Rebels sat at 8-2 heading into their final 2 games, right in the mix for a college football playoff spot. Then they went to Gainesville to face the Florida Gators, took a 24-17 loss, and watched those playoff hopes fade in one night. 1 year later, Ole Miss finds itself in almost the same spot, again chasing the playoff, and this time it knows Florida can be a real roadblock. This season, Ole Miss holds a record of 9-1 with a conference mark of 5-1. The Rebels ride a 3-game winning streak into this matchup. Their latest win came in a 49-0 blowout of the Citadel. That game let them fine-tune their offense and defense before the final push of the season. Quarterback Trinidad Chambliss stayed in rhythm, throwing for 333 yards and 3 touchdowns. The staff could call the full playbook, build timing with receivers, and still get key players off the field late. With a clean result, Florida enters with a record of 3-6 and a conference record of 2-4. The Gators are on a 2-game skid, including a 38-7 loss to Kentucky last week. Quarterback DJ Lagway had his worst outing of the year in that game, throwing for only 83 yards with 3 interceptions. He now faces pressure to reset, protect the ball, and show better command of the offense in front of a hostile crowd. Florida already started to shift its focus to next season. The program fired head coach Billy Napier midway through the year. Billy Gonzalez stepped in as interim head coach and now manages a team in transition. The administration is expected to look outside the current staff once the season ends. One of the names linked with the job is Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin. If he wants serious consideration, this game serves as a live audition. He has produced one of his best coaching seasons so far and now has a chance to show how disciplined and prepared his team can be in a pressure spot. The effects of that mid-season coaching change showed last week against Kentucky. Florida looked out-coached. Lagway never looked settled in the pocket. Injuries kept piling up across the roster. The group appeared disjointed on both sides of the ball. On the other sideline, many players at Ole Miss still remember last year's late loss to Florida, along with Kiffin. That memory sits in the background of this rematch and shapes the emotional edge. On the field, Ole Miss has been the better team this season by a clear margin. The Rebels have lost only once in 10 games. They are perfect at home with 7 wins in 7 tries. Their production on both offense and defense places them among the top 25 teams in the country. They balance a dangerous passing game with a solid defense that limits big plays. Florida, in contrast, is 2-6 in its last 8 games and continues to struggle with consistency, execution, and health. The Gators are in the middle of a disappointing season and have not shown real progress. They have dropped 3 of their past 4 games and have not put together a complete performance in that stretch. Ole Miss, on the other hand, looks like one of the stronger teams in the nation and has strung together 3 straight wins. These final games carry real weight for the Rebels. They need wins to stay near the top of the CFP rankings and to keep pressure on the teams above them. Florida leans on its passing game to move the ball and score. The Gators call pass plays on roughly 53% of their snaps, so their offense depends on Lagway's arm and the receiver group. That approach runs into a problem against this Ole Miss defense. The Rebels bring a tight pass defense that holds opponents to an average of 179 passing yards per game, which ranks 19th in the country. They tackle well, limit explosive plays, and make quarterbacks work for every yard. On the other side of the ball, Ole Miss can hurt teams through the air. Their passing attack is one of their main strengths. Florida's pass defense sits in the middle of the pack, ranked 61st over the course of 4 quarters. That gap in efficiency can show up in big gains, extended drives, and red zone chances for the Rebels. Florida's road form adds to the concern. The Gators have not covered the spread in any road game, and every road loss has been by double digits. That pattern hints at trouble if they fall behind early and have to chase the game. The Gators come into this matchup off their least competitive showing of the season, and that came against one of the lighter opponents on their schedule. They do not bring momentum. Their main remaining goal is a slim chance to claw back into bowl eligibility. Ole Miss sits in the opposite position. The Rebels just handled a lower-tier opponent with ease and still have a lot to play for. Health does matter for them heading into the final stretch, yet the top of the conference remains chaotic. If Alabama and Texas A&M both win out, that pairing would decide the conference title. Ole Miss, as a result, must keep stacking wins and building style points to make an impression on the playoff committee. Florida looked flat after last week's effort, and even with bowl eligibility still on the line, the gap in stakes and form appears wide. Taken together, the recent form, matchup edges, and motivation all tilt this game toward a clear result, and I expect Ole Miss to win big in a revenge spot. As our first pick for this matchup, the Ole Miss Rebels to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Florida's offense struggles to post high point totals. The Gators have scored 20 points or fewer in 3 of their last 4 games. Their tempo also drags the game down. They run a slower offense that ranks 106th in the country in offensive plays per game. Fewer snaps limit both their own scoring chances and the total number of possessions for the game overall. Their defense, on the other hand, still shows strength. Florida has allowed 24 points or fewer in 2 of its past 3 games. The unit can hold up when the offense avoids turnovers and short fields. Ole Miss also brings a defense that has tightened against most of its conference opponents. The Rebels have held 4 of their last 6 Southeastern Conference foes to 21 points or fewer. Market totals on Ole Miss games have stayed high, but recent results have not matched those expectations. The under has gone a perfect 5-0 in the Rebels' last 5 home games. Those offensive trends, defensive performances, and pace factors all point in the same direction and suggest a game that lands below the number rather than above it as our second pick for this matchup. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.